I am so incredibly pumped you're here with me today because we are about to go on a seriously wild journey. We're leaving the sunny surface totally behind and plunging straight down into the pitch-black depths of the ocean. Down there, well, the normal rules of biology just completely fall apart. The creatures living in the abyss look like they were pulled straight out of a crazy sci-fi movie. We're going to uncover some truly bizarre marine life today, and I promise you, by the end of this, the way you think about life on our planet is going to be totally transformed.
Okay, let's jump right in and bust a massive myth right off the bat. Everyone knows the whole idea that scientists just do not explore the ocean because of its crushing depth, right? People assume it's just too dark, too empty, and honestly, too hard to bother with. But the reality is the exact opposite. Did you know that the deep ocean is actually full of shocking secrets, utterly strange animals, and hidden marine life? But how? Well, in this explainer, I'm going to tell you exactly how. That intense depth isn't a barrier at all. It's actually a doorway to a completely different biological world.
So just to prove how unbelievably strange this hidden marine life can actually get, let me introduce you to our very first creature of the abyss, the transparent Barreleye. I mean, honestly, just the name alone sounds totally alien, doesn't it? This fish has a physiology so weird, it really makes you rethink how anything manages to survive in such an extreme place. When you or I picture a fish, we're probably thinking of scales, maybe some gills, and, a solid head. Well, the Barreleye just throws all of that right out the window to survive in the dark.
The evolutionary genius of this thing is absolutely mind-blowing. Get this, it has a completely transparent forehead. Literally, a clear, see-through dome right on top of its head. And because of that dome, the Barreleye can look directly up through its own head to spot danger or, more importantly, dinner floating above it. Plus, its eyes have this really specific yellow pigment that helps it see straight through the glowing, bioluminescent camouflage of its prey. It's like it comes equipped with built-in, deep-sea night vision goggles.
And it uses that insane vision for a pretty high-stakes survival strategy. It's basically pulling off a deep-sea heist. First, it uses those yellow pigmented eyes to spot hidden prey. But then comes the really dangerous part. It has to navigate through the deadly, stinging tentacles of giant siphonophores. If you don't know what those are, they're these massive, drifting colonies of predators that are basically an instant death trap for most fish. But the Barreleye, it just braves those deadly tentacles, swims right in, and picks off stolen crustaceans for its own personal buffet. It literally turns a lethal trap into its own private dining room.
Okay, so if you thought a completely transparent head was wild, you might want to brace yourselves, because as we dive even deeper down, the survival strategies switch from these cool sensory adaptations to something, well, a lot darker. And honestly, it completely blows your mind.
We're talking about the male deep-sea anglerfish. Now, in the massive, incredibly lonely darkness of the deep ocean, just finding a mate is basically impossible. So, when a male finally manages to find a female, he makes sure he never lets go. He becomes what's called a permanent parasite. He enters this crazy state where he loses his eyes and his digestive organs, completely giving up his own biological independence just to live entirely, like 100% off the female's blood. Talk about extreme dependency.
Here is exactly how this gruesome process goes down. First, the tiny male finds the female and bites directly into her side. And then, and this is a seriously unbelievable biological twist, the male literally dissolves his own head. Yeah, you heard that right. His tissues actually melt away, fusing his body to hers until their bloodstreams merge permanently. He literally stops being an individual fish and just becomes an attached blood-sucking appendage. It's horrifying, sure, but without this extreme merging, their species just wouldn't survive down there in the pitch black.
All right, so we've seen transparent heads, we've seen permanent parasites, but the abyss is also home to some true, literal giants. We're shifting gears away from bizarre biology now and moving right into sheer, massive scale. I think when we picture the deep ocean, we usually imagine tiny, weird little glowing things. But the last creature we're looking at today, it will completely shock you.
7 meters. That is nearly 23 feet long. Just take a second to imagine that. Imagine walking into a room and a single creature stretches from one wall all the way to the other. Now, take that colossal scale and imagine bumping into it while you're floating in the freezing absolute darkness of the deep ocean.
Meet the owner of that massive length, the giant oarfish. It's a serpent-like deep-sea fish. And honestly, when sailors from hundreds of years ago came back with these terrifying stories of massive sea serpents rising out of the water, this is almost certainly the real-life creature they were actually seeing. Reaching lengths up to 7 meters, this thing just glides through the deep ocean like a massive, shimmering ribbon. It perfectly proves that the ocean is still hiding animals of literal mythical proportions right beneath our noses.
So, we kicked off this explainer by busting the myth that the deep sea is just an empty void. And look what we found. We've seen a fish that looks right through its own transparent head to steal food, a male anglerfish that literally dissolves into his mate to survive, and a real-life sea serpent that stretches 7 meters long. And the craziest part? These astonishing animals are just the ones we actually know about so far. So I want to leave you with this thought. If we've already found these incredibly bizarre creatures, what other shocking secrets are hiding down there in the dark, just waiting to be discovered? Thanks so much for exploring the abyss with me today.